Welcome to the Renegade Insurance Podcast, a podcast dedicated to agency owners, insurance agents to help you grow your business and be more successful. Every episode, we will bring you a different interview with more information about carriers, contacts, and products to help you every day in your insurance business, to help you with clients and to grow your company successfully. Welcome to another episode of the Renegade Insurance Podcast. I'm Angela Duncan. I'm your host, and today I am super excited to bring to you Rick Bennight. He is the Regional Sales Director for Crump Insurance and a partner that I have started working with, and I would love for you to first, Rick, kind of take us back a little bit. I know most of us don't go to school and think about, I'm going to be in insurance someday. So I'd love for you to talk about your history, how you got into insurance, and all the things that we need to know.
Okay, perfect. Well, first of all, Angela, thanks for having me. Looking forward to talking with you and getting to visit with you a little bit. But so, um, I was I started out my insurance career in 2001. I graduated college in 1996, and one of my fraternity brothers had started an office with Mass Mutual, and he had been doing it a couple years, and he finally convinced me to come join him. And so I became a career agent with Mass Mutual in 2001, right after September 11th. It was a little bit of a challenging time, taught me a lot of lessons about perseverance and not giving up and always making that additional phone call. That's what got me started. I guess this October, it'll be 25 years that I've been in the business. I've done I've been every role there is in the industry, from a career agent uh, to a recruiter, a manager, sales director, VP. So done it all in the life insurance space. Spent a little time in the P&C business with Farmers Insurance. And I was really recruited to Farmers Insurance because of my life experience as they were really trying to grow their life business with their agents. And so that's when I came on board and spent 10 years with them as a district manager here in Colorado Springs. Then after that, decided I wanted to get back more focused on the life side of the business, life, annuity, long-term care side of the business. I worked for USAA in the life and the P&C. In that point, I was doing both. And then left them. Worked with Ohio National, which was a mutual fund, a mutual company, mutual whole life company out of Ohio. Spent 7 or 8 years with them. They were going through some changes and demutualized. So at that point, I decided to move along. I've Since that time, I've done a little bit of work. I did some personal production on my own for a couple years. Then I worked with a local. I have a friend here in Colorado that owns an FMO, a field marketing organization, and did some work with him just a contract basis for a year or so. And then have been with Crump now for the last 2 years. So that's my background.
Yeah, a lot of insurance experience. So what I like about your experience too is that you've been on both sides. So you
Mhm.
understand the sales side from an insurance perspective, but also the products as well.
Right.
So now that you're with Crump, let's talk about a little of the history of Crump. I did, check out the website earlier, was stalking your LinkedIn profile, and I saw that Crump has been around for over 100 years. I was quite surprised actually when I saw that.
Yeah. So we were founded in 1922. So we're 106 years old, I guess, this year. And Crump is the largest broker general agent in the country for life insurance. We've placed more life insurance than anybody else out there. On average, we'll do between 175 and 200,000 cases in a given year.
Wow.
Um, with that, we have probably well over 100,000 agents that will write at least one piece of business with us in a given year. We have three distinct channels here at Crump. The first channel is the Wirehouse channel, and that is for guys like the Merrill Lynch advisors, Citigroup advisors, Wells Fargo advisors. So that's one of the channels that we operate in the Wirehouse. And so we're their go-to conduit for insurance, whether it's life, disability, long-term care, or annuity. Then we also have we support the career agent channel. And so the career agent carriers would be stuff like Mass Mutual is one of them, which is how I first became acquainted with Crump from my time at Mass Mutual. New York Life is another one. Prudential Advisors is another one. And there's a couple other smaller ones. But that's the career agent channel, which we're their brokerage outlet. And then the final channel, which I'm in, is the independent and P&C channel. So we work with independent financial advisors, anybody from just somebody with a life license, they may be a P&C agency shop, they may be an RIA, just anybody that's not affiliated with one of those wirehouses or career organizations, then they would fit within the independent distribution channel.
Yep. And one of the things that you touched on, and I think one of the questions I get asked most often is why Crump, right? What I like is the longevity. So you guys have been around for quite some time. So for me, that feels like a safer place, right, to get life insurance because you don't want to buy life insurance from a company that will not be here tomorrow. And the
Right.
fact that you work through so many different channels also tells me that you're spreading your risk amongst different places, which again goes back to the strength of the company as well.
Right, exactly. Um, and one of the things that I wanted to mention too is, we are the largest broker general agent in the country, and really, how that helps the agent is all the support and services we have. When I first was approached by the organization, I really there were three things that sort of stood out to me that really interested me in the organization. First was their technology. I think we have some of the best technology out there, and the fact that we have a mobile app that any agent can download the mobile app. From that mobile app, you can start quotes, you can start applications, you can check on the status of cases. If you need to upload documents, you can meet with your client, take a picture with your phone, and upload that document to the mobile app. The technology is great. We also have some great quoting tools and some different things on the life side where agents can add a quote to their website. If they have an independent website, they can put our quote machine on there. And what that does, it allows clients to go there, they can quote their life insurance policy, and it captures that information and then provides that as a lead to the agent. Second one is our experience. We have about 17 in-house underwriters, and they average about 20 years of experience each. And the reason that's so important, there's thousands of companies out there, and anybody can give you a quote, right? Anybody can say, "Hey, I got a guy, he's 55, needs $100,000," and they'll send you a quote. That's great. But what we do is we want to make sure we get the right risk with the right carrier the first time. We want to make sure that it creates a good experience for both the advisor, agent, and the client. So our underwriters can look at a case and tell us maybe the person has high blood pressure, maybe they're taking some statins, maybe a little overweight. Well, we can look at that risk and within just a matter of an hour or less determine, hey, this client is going to be better for XYZ carrier because they're
Mhm.
more aggressive with high blood pressure. Versus that carrier, they're not going to be as aggressive, so you're probably get a worse rating or maybe a decline. So we want to do that work on the front end to really make sure that it's a good experience it makes it easy for the advisor. He's not going back to his client asking for more information and all this. And it's a smoother process for the client. So that underwriting support was a big deal. And then the third one was kind of like you said, just the longevity that we've had. We've been around since 1922. We're not going anywhere. We have a really strong foundation of both of understanding the insurance business, really great insurance partners. We have 35 of the largest, most highly rated carriers in the country. So we have
Mhm.
great partnerships with our carriers. And so those are the three main reasons when I started looking that I decided to go with Crump.
Yeah. So now that you've been there for a couple years, I'm sure you've had the opportunity to experience the culture
Mhm.
within Crump. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
The culture is really a one of really hardworking. I mean, one of the things that I remember when I first got started here is, it's really not a matter. We're not a 9 to 5 type of organization, right? Whenever somebody needs something, right? If the client needs something, the advisor needs something, it might be 6:30 at night. We still take the call, right? I service agents from all the way from Florida, where you are, all the way out to California, and so obviously, I'm available typically from about 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. Eastern time till about, 5 o'clock Pacific time, which is about 8 Eastern time. So really we need to be there when the agent needs us, right? because that's what matters, right? That's who they're going to remember. They're not going to remember the guy that they had to call and leave a voicemail, maybe he calls them back the next day. Well, that might be too late. So we really want to meet the agent wherever we can when they need us and be there to provide that service and that support at all times.
Yes. And one of the things that I've loved about our partnership, I'm primarily PNC. So I work a lot with homeowners and flood, auto. I also work with a lot of business owners as well. So I'm not well versed in life insurance or any of the products that Crump offers, right? What I like
Mhm.
about our partnership is that I don't have to. So talk a little bit about that. If an agent that maybe doesn't know life insurance and is similar to me, I don't want to sell a product or help a client with something that I don't understand completely myself. How does
Mhm.
that partnership work with a PNC agent?
So really, there's several different ways to access us. Really, what I view my role is I am the sort of the front line, kind of the QB person, right? When somebody calls me, and they say, "Hey, Rick, I got a person they just bought a home, and they're looking for 20 years." That's okay. Well, we can figure that out, and so that's pretty easy. Then we might talk. Well, do we want to look at a term product, or do we want to look at a permanent product, or are there any health issues that we need to be aware of? Stuff like that. So, so really, I kind of do that initial assessment, and 8 times out of 10, I can work with the agent and figure out, okay, based on what you've told me, these two or three carriers are going to be the best product at the best pricing that's going to meet your client's needs. But like I said earlier, sometimes there's some more issues that I need to bring in some of my team, whether it's an underwriting, whether it's a case manager, whether it's a product expert, or whether it's advanced market team, right? Maybe we're dealing with a more of a like a commercial PNC client that's looking for a buy sell or looking for a key man or deferred comp. We have a great advanced markets team that can work on that. So most of the time I'm like the initial intake, and then I decide what other resources do we need to bring into this to help get this case closed, to help this advisor make a sale. And
Yep.
so that's sort of my role.
And you touched a little bit on this. I am in the PNC in the commercial world, and
Mhm.
there's more than just life insurance products that you offer. So can you touch on a little bit of the different products? If I'm having a conversation with someone and they mention a word, then it kind of
Mhm.
is a good trigger for me to be like, oh, I need to go to Rick or I need to go to Crump. So talk about some of the other products that you guys are able to offer too.
Right. So we have four product lines: life insurance, disability insurance, long-term care insurance, and annuities. Right. Um, so just kind of thinking it through, life insurance, like I said, we business owners can use it for buy sell, families for estate planning purposes, for the child's education, to pay off the mortgage, all those sort of real basic stuff, all the way up to more advanced life insurance for business owners on a deferred comp type setting. So we can do all those. The next one is disability. Disability is mostly people, the majority of people who purchase disability are doctors, dentists, and attorneys, right? People that have high student loan costs, right? It costs them a lot of money to get those degrees, and so they're probably carrying some of those student loans, and they want to ensure that if something were to happen to them and they're not able to perform to be a dentist or to be a heart surgeon, that they're going to still be able to make a living and pay off those. So anytime you're dealing with those type of people, you think about DI. The other thing is business owners, especially business owners when they are the business. Think of a restaurateur, right? He's the chef, he's the host, he's the bartender. He's kind of is the business, right? What would happen to that business if he were no longer able to work? If he broke a leg and he was out for 6 months, right? Where
Mhm.
is that money going to come from to keep the business open or to hire somebody to come in? So those things, when the person is the business or the main producer in the business, you need to be thinking about business overhead insurance, which is a disability product. So if he becomes able, the insurance company will pay the rent, pay the staff, pay all the other people, or pay to hire somebody else. So business owners and doctors, dentists, and attorneys are good DI prospects.
Mm.
Uh, long-term care is probably the fastest growing segment of the industry right now. And some of the things you should listen for, really, it doesn't hit home to people until they experience it. So when you hear something like, "Oh, we just had to put mom or dad into a nursing home," or "we're really struggling to find a place for mom or dad," or dad's moved in with us now, so because we got to take care of it. And those are great times to bring up some long-term care insurance. There's some great options out there right now. People that are at about 50 to 55, that's when the beginning when they start being concerned about it. And so usually most people that have purchased it are between 55 and 65 because they've seen a parent or maybe another family member go through a long-term care event and they understand what the cost is and how important it is to have that coverage. And
Hmm.
then the last one is just the annuity business. Right now, the most popular thing is guaranteed income on annuities. There's never been a better time for someone to guarantee themselves an income for life. So somebody can take a 401k, IRA, roll it into an annuity, and guarantee them a basic amount of income for both them and their spouse for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Um, and so when people are concerned about outliving their money, that's
Hmm.
one idea. He's like, oh, well, maybe this would be a good opportunity to talk about a guaranteed income annuity.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a fear that a lot of people have is the outliving
Yeah,
of their income.
exactly, for sure.
Awesome. Another part of our partnership that I really enjoy is you call it like digital marketing aspect of it. I recently asked you to help me explain to a client the difference between the mortgage, paying off the mortgage and having that type of insurance product versus having a life insurance.
Uh-huh.
So, talk about the marketing piece and how you partner a little bit with agents as well.
So, like I said, we have all kinds of marketing materials, right? Whether it's working with business owners, like we just talked about, whether it's work with families, estate planning. So we really have a lot of resources available for them. Also on our website, there's a lot of great training and stuff that they
Mhm.
can use, as well as different mail pieces that they can use. So and the like I talked about the quoter on the website. So as a BGA, we don't really do a whole lot of marketing, but we do have some resources and some different programs that are available for agents that are accessed through the website. So once an agent gets signed up with us, they can go on there and look at some of the marketing ideas and marketing forms and use that stuff, and it's all free. There's no cost for that. But there's a ton of just a great information that will help identify opportunities for insurance, whether it's life insurance, disability, what have you, as well to how to explain to clients the importance of having those type products.
Yeah, so having employees like yourself who've been on both sides, I think really helps that marketing piece of it. I did see you guys have monthly webinars, and I get the emails on that.
Hmm.
And you also have a podcast called Crump Insights Podcast because I'm a big podcaster. So,
Yeah,
lots of different ways for us agents and for clients to get information in a manner in which, we receive the data is much easier. It could be visual with the webinars, it could be audio through the podcast, could be the digital format and mailing out things to clients. So I love that aspect because you're always still thinking about our partnership and how we can better serve our clients too.
exactly. And I would say if you haven't already, please follow us on LinkedIn. We post content on there at least once a day, and sometimes, depending, will be multiple times. So there's some great content on LinkedIn that you can tag. You can forward it to a client that maybe if it applies to something, LinkedIn is a great resource as well.
Gotcha. So final thoughts. If an agent is listening to this and they would love to be able to offer, more services and products with their clients that will be beneficial for their clients, what would you tell them?
So I would tell them, and this is something when I first got into the industry 25 years ago, the best way to learn this is to get out there and do one. And what I mean by that is, I know a lot as a PNC agent, sometimes they're concerned that they don't understand it or they don't want to upset the client or they don't want to seem like they don't know what they're doing, maybe because they're trying to do a DI policy. Well, you have to sort of go through a couple to learn, and then lean on your resources. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call me. Don't be afraid to call our transaction centers. There's tons of resources and support for you. You just have to make the first move and call somebody and say, "Hey, I got this guy. He mentioned DI. I don't know anything about it. Can you guys help me?" And we would love to help you. We also have what we call our Sales Assist program. And so this is a program where we have in-house licensed agents that will write any line of business, whether it's life, DI, long care disability. And so it's more of a referral type relationship. Once you're signed up with Crump, you can refer. It's like this guy come in, he wants some long-term care. I know nothing about it. I don't want to learn about it. I'm too busy quoting home and autos. but I'd like to help my client, you can just refer that over to us. We will talk with the client. We will take the application. We'll walk it through underwriting and get it policy issued. And then at the end of it, we'll split the commission with the agent. The nice thing about that is the agent will still have access to that data and that information. So when that client comes back 2 years down the road and said, "Hey, remember that life policy or that long-term care? I have some questions about it." They still have access. They can pick up the phone and say, "Let me call Crump." They're the ones that I use as my back office, and we'll walk them through and explain it to them. So that's a great option if somebody is just too busy. They don't want to take the time to learn about it, or maybe it's a small case that they don't want to fool with, right? They're too busy doing other cases and they want to help the client, but they just don't have time. They can refer all that to us. We'll be happy to help the client, provide great service, make a good reflection on you, and then we'll just split the comp with you.
Yeah, and online, that's super easy for agents to do. They can just log in and send that over to get that sales assist too.
Right. You just click on the sales assist, fill out the form, and they're done. And they can
Yeah.
move on today, and we'll take care of the client for them on their behalf.
It's nothing like quoting a home policy. It's super easy.
Exactly.
Awesome, Rick. If anyone, agents or clients listening to this, want to get in contact with Crump or you and your team, what's the best way for them to reach you?
So the best way is just to reach out. I have my cell phone on me. That's my main phone. It's 719-313-8758. You can call or text me on that anytime. My email address is just rick.bennight@crump.com. Feel free to email me there. Or you can always just go navigate to the crump.com website, and that will kind of give you instructions, and you can get a hold of. If you log in there, it will get forwarded to me, and then I will call you back too. If you can't remember my phone or email address, just go to crump.com, and somebody will get the message to me, and I'll call you back.
Awesome. Rick, I truly appreciate your time today.
All right. Thanks, Angela. Great meeting you guys. Look forward to answering any questions. If you need any help, please reach out.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Renegade Insurance Podcast. If you would like more information, would like to join the Renegade Insurance family, go to renegadeinsurance.com today.